Hello, and welcome to the last in the current series of Geek TV. But just like Doctor Who's finale, this is a bumper edition. I was on holiday last week, which meant no video review of Heaven Sent, apologies. So let's look back on that claustrophobic caper before we look forward to the finale.
If it were any part of killing her, and you're not afraid, then you understand nothing at all.
Well, happy to say, on Heaven Sent, I loved it. It's pretty staggering, I think, that Steven Moffat has been consistently writing new Doctor Who for 6 years, and he still has episodes like this in him. This was an episode that made you think, so there was plenty of timey-wimey goodness to chew over, but also one that made you feel. So the peril was real, the veil was genuinely menacing, and of course, Peter Capaldi's performance was absolutely stunning. You might think that a single-hander could be quite boring. You know, what is it? It's one man in a room talking to himself for 50 minutes. But no, Heaven Sent, it kept up the pace, it delivered on the chills, and Capaldi was, as I said, on absolutely blistering form. It's no exaggeration, I don't think, to say he's one of very few actors who could have pulled off an experimental episode like this. So then, on to Hell Bent, a sort of maelstrom of an episode, parts of which I liked, parts of which I wasn't so keen on. It's a bit of a mad, exhilarating ride of an episode with Steven Moffat dipping in and out of different genres as and when he feels like it. The whole thing starts off as a sort of space western with the Doctor, a swaggering cowboy, facing off against the Time Lords, led by his old foe Rassilon, now played by Donald Sumpter, who's one of my all-time favourite character actors. It is a shame they couldn't get Timothy Dalton back to reprise the part, but if you are going to replace him, Sumpter is a more than worthy successor. Once the Doctor is reunited with Clara, though, the episode dramatically shifts gears and starts to explore their grand, tragic romance. And yes, I did say romance, because no, they're not getting off behind the cloisters, but the Doctor does love Clara, and he's willing to fight for 4.5 billion years just to save her. It's all very affecting, and Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman in their last ever performance together are predictably brilliant, and they wring every last bit of emotion out of the Doctor and Clara's bittersweet farewell. But it's actually Clara's exit, and in particular her very final scene, that sort of rubbed me the wrong way, and if I'm honest, spoilt my enjoyment of this episode a little. Her arc, the Doctor's arc, the whole series arc was building to this idea that they each brought out a dangerous and reckless side in the other. The Doctor was willing to risk everything, willing to destroy the universe just to save her. He loved her too much, and he had to let her go. Except Steven Moffat doesn't quite stick to his guns, and so rather than having Clara face her fate, she just throws caution to the wind and decides to tool around the universe in a new TARDIS with a shoulder. For me, this just didn't sit right. It felt like it went against everything that had come before. If Clara was going to say to hell with it and just go on the run across the universe, why not just stay with the Doctor? It's a misjudged final twist that, for me, undermines what is otherwise a very strong episode and a very strong series. The whole Doctor Who team have done fantastic work, I think, in 2015. It's just a pity that Series 9 stumbles a little at the final hurdle. So that is it. No more Doctor Who for a whole 3 weeks. Yes, Mr. Who will be back in just 20 days' time, and he's bringing the missus. And all being well, Geek TV will also be back to tackle the husbands of River Song. So for now, get stuck into your advent calendars, and I'll see you soon.